And we're live. Hello, word nerds. Happy Sunday. It's the 22nd. It is our last pre-summer hiatus chat. And we are really excited to be here. Joe Catherine said the title is great. Adding extravaganza to anything makes it sound 200% crazier. Yeah, we can't just, throw around the word extravaganza without fulfilling some of that. So today we've got a few different things going on. Mostly we're just going to be chatting, hanging out, having a good time. We've got some bookish would you rathers. We've got some kind of mid-year discussion topics since we're going to be breaking through almost all of June. So we'll be right at that mid-year point when we're coming back. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and we are going to be populating some empty slots on our Refilling Your Inkwell themed bingo card. We had some ideas for, things that would help you kind of get, what's the phrasing I'm looking for? I don't like the one I thought of. Things to get you back in the creative headspace if you're maybe feeling a little bit of a mid-year slump. And we had some ideas, but then thought it would be fun to have kind of the community suggesting some, since we all do a lot of the same things. And so it'd be good to get some new ideas going. So yeah, how's everyone doing today? One thumb
Tired.
up. One thumb up from the gang, except for Emma.
Starting the extravaganza off on a good note.
Hello to Missy Kate. Say hey in the discussion section if you're here. Let us know how you're doing. Are you also one thumb up? Do we have any two thumbs ups? Anyone? Maybe like a sideways one. Like a kind of.
I'll do like a
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
1.5 thumbs up.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be here. So let's kick it off. I've got 7 or 8 bookish would you rathers. So I thought it would be fun to begin with one of those. So our first bookish would you rather, you must live in a haunted house. Would you rather the thing haunting your house be a ghost or a person who is behaving like a ghost? Like you think it's a ghost the whole time, but then you find out later either it's actually a ghost or it's a creepy person. Which would you rather it be?
I'd rather it be an actual ghost.
I would also rather it be an actual ghost.
Do not want a real person lurking in my house.
I'm inclined to say a real ghost too. My only thinking is that, like, if it's a real person, I can fight him if I need to. I can fight a real ghost.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, my gut instinct was to go ghost, but like, if it's a real person, I can maybe get them out.
But if it's a ghost, all you gotta do is like wave some sage around or get someone to exercise the house or just leave.
Is it ever that simple?
True. I don't watch horror movies, so I'm not prepared for this at all.
This is brought to you by me reading yet another book that was allegedly a haunted house book, but was not ghosts at the end, or was too open-ended as to whether it was ghosts.
Oh, but that's even worse.
Heavily suggested that it was not.
Oh. I feel like if there was a ghost or like, demons haunting your house, whatever, I feel like I would annoy them so much that they would leave.
The ghost is just begging to be released from this prison.
Exactly. And I'm over there like, wait, let me talk about this plot idea. They're like, it's 3:30 in the morning. Please, I can't take this anymore. Why are you crying again? Just like, and they're like, all right, that's enough. I'm out of here.
Joe Catherine said ghost 100%. Missy Kate agreed. Joe Catherine said midnight insomnia friend ghost. Andrew said you can make the real person leave though. And we've got a whopping 2 thumbs up from N. Griswold today. We got a 2 thumbs up.
Wow.
Joy
Griswold's really winning tonight.
Yeah.
And Griswold wins the extravaganza.
And Griswold also said a real ghost. I don't even want to think about someone pretending to be a ghost while living in your house. Listen, that's all I can think about. Once night falls, I'm like, anyone could be in here. And that's because I have night anxiety. So we've got this refilling your inkwell bingo. Again, like all the bingo spots on it are aimed at helping you feel more creative by the end of the hiatus. And so I've got a few things on there already, like, read a book, watch a new movie, play a video game. The center free space is drink water.
You must do that at some point between.
I would be really surprised if no one drinks any water for the entire month of June, and I would counsel you to maybe try it.
I used to have a coworker like that. Like, it'd be like 4 p.m. and she'd be like, "Why do I have a headache?" And I'd be like, "Have you drank any water?" She would just like coffee and nothing else. It was terrifying.
Literally
that
why I
woman
have a headache
is
right now.
wow. Everyone grab your water.
Yes. I've also got go for a walk on there.
Mm-hmm.
So if at any point you have an idea throughout this chat, just put it in the discussion section and we will get it added to the bingo chart. Joe Catherine said spend 4 hours on TV tropes.
No more, no less.
I'm thinking about, if you all like it, maybe putting do some sort of craft exercise, like an expanding your craft thing. But I'm not sure like what a good wording for that would be, because I know books don't always work for everyone. Some people like video format, some people like, going to blogs. So if anyone has any good ideas for wording of that will fit on a small square.
Try a craft challenge.
Yeah. I've got my Photoshop up.
Do we have one that's like, I don't know, like something you've been meaning to do, whether that's like starting a show that you've been meaning to start, or like reading a book that's been on your list for a while, just like one that you've
Do
kind
something
of
you've been putting off, but not like a productive something you've been putting off. Like a fun something you've been putting off.
Do something off. I will figure out how to make that fit in the square later.
If
feel
someone
like
wants
these-
to do the productive one, it makes you feel better. Have it out of the way.
Actually, Joe Catherine says it pretty well. Accomplish something small.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Oh, I like this
Also-
one from Nicole too.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Wow, our viewers are so smart.
Also,
Well,
I think we will have to reword the craft one, because I think it's getting a lot of confusion with like crafting versus writing craft.
We'll just have it twice, and one is a craft and one is writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Dealer's choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's the hard thing about these bingo cards, even with like the readathon ones, is like figuring out how to say things in as few words as possible, but people
Yes.
understand what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what about like try a new recipe?
Ooh, I like that.
That's a good one.
I ended up just copying the drink water center space just on every square, so I would have the text already there so I could move really quickly. And now it's a fun little game to see, like, am I going to accidentally get rid of the actual drink water square? Ooh, adopt a new plant.
Megan has been enabled.
I have been so enabled just now. Like, I'm going to leave this chat early.
She's like, well, I
It's for
can't,
bingo.
can't not. It's for
Yeah.
bingo.
Yeah.
Um,
Could one of them be like reorganize your writing space or reorganize your bookshelves?
Or just
Oh, yeah.
organize something.
Or
You need to
organize in general, yeah.
Yeah, just anything.
Yeah, there's a clean your writing space spot on our yearly goals
yes, I just did
that I
that.
still I'd half done a bunch of times, but never have yet to do thoroughly enough to actually check it off.
Okay, so I think Aunt Griswold's comment was kind of like a joke, which was read a book while changing all the plot points, so re-outline another author's book. But I actually think that either reading or writing fan fiction should be on there.
Yes,
Like
I
it could
have
be
a
either,
fanfic
like, read or
idea
write.
that I'm so excited about.
Is it for our flag means death?
Of course it is. You know it is. The only book I've read fic for in a decade. I did read one Ted Lasso one for the last bingo challenge.
Amazing.
I think for like the next bingo card of like the end of year, just like as easy as possible, just like making an entire card of things that the word nerds love. So like watch Our Flag Means Death, listen to the entire Taylor Swift discography. Just do the things that like we want to share the things we love with people.
I would love that so much.
Oh, and we could make like an alternate bingo card of viewer stuff, and we could do their stuff, and they could do our stuff.
Oh, that could be so fun.
And Grisel said it was not a joke. I do it all the time.
Amazing.
My work in progress that I'm currently revising is largely like a satirical look at another very popular book series, and so I really did have to go through it and be like, okay, well, if I was taking this kind of funny spin on it, what would happen plot point by plot point? And it was surprisingly fun. Hello, Sabra. Oh, Sabra is planning their wedding for August this year. That's exciting.
Ooh,
congratulations.
Nice.
All right, let's do some more chatting, and we can all think about some more possible bingo card ideas. Words. We've got another bookish would you rather. Would you rather be the chosen one or the chosen one's loyal sidekick?
Sidekick.
Sidekick.
I want to be able to like pop in, say some quippy one-liners, help like support the main character, and then like go do my own thing. I
feel like my top choice is like the mentor of like I'm gonna be there right at the beginning when the stakes are really
the mentor
low.
And then you'll die before it gets bad.
At least the sidekick, like usually they don't usually die. They usually just like get grievously injured or something, but they usually live.
I think it depends on the genre. The mentor doesn't always die. Not every book has people die.
I'm open to being like the chosen one's love interest.
I was gonna
I know
say
that wasn't one of the two options.
I just feel like that's not great for a long-term relationship. It's a lot of pressure.
True.
You'd have to make sure they started.
I don't have to get together with them. I just want them to fall in love with me.
Oh, that's true.
Hey, there you go.
And I still get to like do the one-liners, I feel like. So
Yes.
True.
yeah.
Yes.
Cause some tension.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe like have a moment of peril.
Yeah.
Yes.
And look fabulous doing it.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. And Grisel said sidekick with a low pressure spinoff.
Mm,
That
perfect.
would be amazing.
Yes, agreed. I think everyone's just picking the love interest.
Yeah.
Not even an option, and that's the one.
I just broke the would you rather by I realize that's not how would you rather is supposed to work as a game or concept. But
I love it because we were
Actually
all
rather.
agreeing at first. See, I don't think I would want to be the love interest, and so now we have some interesting debate.
Can I introduce you to a very stupid, very fun thing?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm thinking of like the two would you rathers. Okay, so everything is either a soup or a stir fry. Discuss.
Soup.
Soup or stir fry. That's like, it's a joke that we've been doing with my friend group. And we got a new friend in our friend group, and we were trying to explain soup or stir fry to them. And they truly, like, it could not comprehend this. So if you
Give
look
an
at,
example.
okay,
like
so you look
cereal's a soup.
But like,
Yes.
what's a sandwich isn't a soup or a stir fry.
No,
It's
it's
a
a
stir
stir fry. I understand this.
there we go, you
We're
get
both
it.
so confident.
Yeah, so like mostly for food, but like you could also just like do other things. Like you can have whatever.
A swimming
be
pool
super
is a
stir
soup.
fry. Sorry,
Swimming pool is a soup.
swimming pool is a
Yeah.
yeah.
Track is a stir fry.
I would
Yeah,
agree
no,
with that.
you can
Yeah.
do that.
So it's very fun, and it's just like silly, ridiculous, but it's very fun to watch someone just slowly implode because they just don't understand it.
I can see how a grilled cheese would be a stir fry.
I can see that.
A PB&J, no.
Is that a soup? Because it's
I
got
would say
some liquids.
I would say PB&J is a soup.
Oh, yeah.
Or
This is-
or
so-
if you really want to expand your options, you can have soup, stir fry, or casserole. That's also a good one.
Oh.
That would answer a lot of sandwich questions.
So much as this is like a completely ridiculous like hypothetical thing, they're actually so for my day job, like I work with legal cases that have linguistic ambiguity. And there was like this case a while, like sometime in the 2000s, where a Panera Bread like had this contract with the strip mall that they were in, that the strip mall wouldn't let in anybody else who sold sandwiches into their strip mall. And the strip mall offered a lease to like a Qdoba that does Mexican food. And Panera sued them and was like, a taco is a sandwich.
Interesting.
And it's like, it's not. I feel that in my soul. And yet, if you try to define like a sandwich in a way that's inclusive of it, like what we think of as a sandwich, but excludes like tacos and burritos and all that, it's actually very difficult. And it was a real court case, so.
I would say a sandwich has like 2 pieces of some kind of bread that don't touch. So like
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Well, true. So I was thinking like a hot dog or like a taco, like that's like a wrap or like
hot dog. You don't cut the bun all the way.
Yeah, you don't cut it all the way, but then some sub sandwiches are cut all the way through, and some of them aren't. So that
So you
makes
can
a
say
hot
one
dog.
that isn't is like a poorly constructed.
Yes.
I would argue that when a sub sandwich is cut all the way through, it is poorly constructed.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will not be
I
eating
know.
that stuff. So yeah, that's just
Also,
the
I like-
Socratic method, but make it a meme.
Yeah. Also, I like that Ed Griswold asked if a love triangle would be a stir fry, and I would agree
Yes.
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So that's a fun party game to play with your
I
friends.
love it. I love it so much. My brain is just spinning so fast right now. Like a galaxy brain forming.
It's also fun to do it with inanimate objects.
As opposed to the food that's an animate object.
True. Non-food inanimate object.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your food's not animate?
Well, I guess sometimes it is, but like it shouldn't be by the time I'm eating it.
So here's a question. We're going to be coming back right at like the halfway mark of the year. So I was wondering, what is everyone's favorite book that you've read so far this year? Let us know in chat as well. Pulling up my Goodreads because though I came up with all these questions, I did not think of my answer.
Yeah, I've enjoyed some books this year, but I've also been through a lot of reading slumps. So I feel like I haven't gotten through as many as I usually do. So I'm just gonna check my Goodreads.
The first like 3 months of the year, I was like super ahead on like my Goodreads goal, and now I'm a couple books behind because I like have not finished a book in like a month or something.
I am adjusted my Goodreads goal from 100 down to 52. Because
Hey, make it work for you.
Yeah.
I'd say probably the 5th season. I've read all 3 of the books.
Nice.
It was just a really fun, immersive fantasy experience that I haven't had in a while.
I'd say for me, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Because that level of fluffy fantasy, like I would read 10 more of those. And they're very hard to find.
Yeah, I would say like the 5th season and White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. That one's really good too.
Really liked The Charm Offensive. Looking through my list now, I'm realizing there hasn't been anything that I've read and been like, this is it. This is going to be my favorite of the year. Like I already know. But I did like The Charm Offensive a lot.
And to be fair, you had kind of a TV show fill that slot for you. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna find a fanfic. I did read all of the Heartstopper books that are available in about 2 days. That was a little, book TV crossover.
I think mine is, or at least like one of my top couple this year was Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake.
Oh, I need to finish that one.
It's so good. Yeah, I
really
this
like
year
that.
I have fully embraced romance novels, and I'm like, it's time. I'm gonna read them. I am enjoying them. I get why people like them now, and I'm like, we're going full speed ahead. So there's been like a couple of romance novels this year. I also really loved Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. It was just like so fun and ridiculous, and I'm like, yes, I like this. I have a new section of the bookstore to peruse now.
Yes, and it's a big section.
It is.
Andrew Walker said The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich, which is
Oh,
such a
that was
good
cool
book.
one.
I love that
Yeah.
one.
It's been a long time, but I remember really, really liking that book.
I'm with Vanessa and Joe Catherine on All Systems Red. I've read
Ooh.
3 of the Murderbot Diaries now. Matt just finished the 4th one.
I'm writing
Very
all
fun
these
series.
down.
Oh, and Griswold also read The Blood Trials. I really want to read that one next. That would look so cool.
Oh, yeah. And also got mentioned, Kale has a slasher coming out next February. I'm so excited for it. It looks so good. Let me see here. I've got another Would You Rather, if no one else has book recs they wanted to talk about for the year.
Vanessa also gave a shout out to Ninth House.
Oh,
Really
yes.
Vertigo.
Classic.
I would also like to very quickly mention Blood Scion by Deborah Falley.
Ooh, yes,
Oh,
that's been on my
like-
list.
If you want a book like Saba Tahir, that is the one. It is brutal and it is like it's super high fantasy. I loved it. It's like that's a Hunger Games book. Like that is
I think I was like unprepared for how intense it was. gonna be.
seriously. It is traumatic. Like wow. But it's also so good.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. I think I was very unprepared for like just the tone of it.
Sarah asked if we listen to audiobooks.
So much all
Love.
the time.
Love audiobooks. I would guess about 85% of the books I read each year are audiobooks, at least. Big shout out to Scribd, the Netflix of books. Please give me triple speed and I'll talk even more about you.
Yeah, Scrib, just if you're out there, like hit us up. you
Yeah,
know?
I've already hit you up a few times asking for triple speed, and now I'm bringing it here to the platform once
Please,
again.
please slide into the DMs.
I know you're watching.
I am once again asking for triple speed.
I'm begging it. And it's available on like the web browser.
Huh.
I just need it in the app. So we've got another bookish Would You Rather. Would you rather have a cover change halfway through a series, or the height of the book changes halfway through the series?
How dare you? I think I would rather the cover changes.
Right for me.
Height for you?
Mhm.
I'd rather the cover change, I think. As long as it's like a change for the better. If the
We
covers
can't
get worse.
guarantee
Yeah.
Cover for sure.
Oh, random side
think I'd
note.
go
Have you guys seen the new Percy Jackson covers?
No.
No.
They're beautiful. Also, if you line them up, the spines make a rainbow.
Oh.
They're really pretty. They're like more minimal, but still like graphic. Yeah, they're gorgeous.
I've already looked it up, but I'm so
Wow.
nervous to do it because I can't convince TikTok that I'm not actually interested in Percy Jackson. And it gives me so much. I know the T-shirt now to like try to scroll really quickly so it knows how aggressively not
really?
interested I am. I've only read the 2 books in the series, like people cosplaying situations and stuff. Like, this does not mean anything to me. I get why you would think that it would, but it does not.
Yeah. And Missy Kate wanted clarification on the question. So the question is, would you rather have the cover for a series change, like it gets a redesign halfway through, or would you rather the height of the book change halfway through the series? Nicole says, I'd DNF the series. Honestly, that's probably the realistic answer. Like, well, I don't know.
Granted, it does not take much for me
Switch
to
to-
DNF a series.
I was about to
do
say, even
not finish very many series.
even if the covers don't change, there's a high likelihood I won't finish the series.
Mhm. That's one of the slots on like the 2022 bingo is read a full series, and I have not been able to decide what I would like that series to be.
Is Heartstopper done?
Heartstopper has 2 more coming out. And Chris said height. Why do I feel terrible about? No, I think I would go height too. I'd rather they all look the same.
I would rather live in a house with a ghost.
Have all of my covers be different heights. Liz.
Reminder to be thinking of possible things to put on our Refilling Your Creative Inkwell bingo card. Let's see how many slots we've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I don't think
7,
About
8, 9, 10, 11.
try writing something in a new to you genre.
Ooh. Yeah.
as I say, I don't think we talked about this comment from Nicole, which was like call a friend or something like that. So, like,
Oh, yes, we did very briefly, but not long enough. That is a great one.
Could one of the prompts be write in a place you don't usually write?
Oh, yeah.
Whether that be like your kitchen table or a coffee shop or a park or at your university.
My brain went to the library, but just going to the library, I think, should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, support your local libraries.
To library. Catherine said, new Faustian bargain, your soul in exchange for control over book covers.
Honestly, like, I'm not using it.
Mm-hmm.
I was having this discussion with one of my author friends about cover changes, and yeah, it like part of it is so weird, especially on like TikTok or like BookTube or Bookstagram or something. Like having the covers change halfway through a series, a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're just the publisher's just trying to get more money out of us because now we have to buy the whole series again." And like, no, you don't have to. And I'm sure that is like a little bit of it, but like, if you're enjoying the book, like, we know, what does it matter so much?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do understand like wanting. I'm a fiend for the aesthetic, so I get like wanting everything to match. But
I get being mad, but I don't think that getting readers to rebuy the books is like the financial strategy on the publisher's part. Because like I think the percentage, the like amount of readers who will actually rebuy a bunch of books just because the cover changed is like so small.
I
like
can afford that.
Yeah, most people are just going to deal with it,
They're
or they're
gonna be
getting
more
books
of
from
the
library,
like DNF.
or like so many people are getting ebooks, or you know, like it's like I don't think.
I
they're,
think
like,
a lot of
trying
times the cover, like if a cover changes midway through a series, it's because the series is not selling the way they want it to, so they want to give it kind of a fresh face.
or they think like a different cover would like attract
Yeah.
readers better or something. Yeah.
Or like they realize that it's not selling well, or like the cover makes it look like it's a different genre, or maybe it's younger or older than they're trying to market it, the audience they're trying to market it to, and so they change it and like what have you. But
like the flip side is waiting for a series to be done to buy the final version of the cover. But then I'd seen like debates from authors being annoyed at people who wait to buy a series because it hurts them, and
The series might not get finished. Yeah, if everybody does that. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually leads me to one of my would you rathers.
all right, let's hear it.
Now that that's been said, would you rather, where is it, that a book series doesn't get to finish, or it finishes with just the absolute worst ending in the world?
Oh,
The first one.
Not the author got just an absolute bathtub full of cash. Either way, so the author, they're going to be fine financially.
I was selfish. I didn't even consider that. So.
Yeah, I think I'd rather they just not finish it.
I'm just thinking of the last like series that I hated the ending, and I like was mad about it for days because it's like if it doesn't, like if you don't get another one, it's like it hurts. You just kind of have to like, you know, imagine what you wish would have happened. But if it gets a bad ending, then you still have to like do the this is what I think should have happened exercise, and you spend a whole bunch of time reading it.
And you can't forget the ending. Where like if it's not finished, then like there's nothing that's like stuck in your head. I like Misty Kate said, a ghost in the house.
Yeah, I was specifically, the series that did this for me for the first time ever. I was thinking about the Pendragon series. A decade of my life sunk into that for it to end in it was only a dream.
What? That's how it ends?
It
Sort
wasn't a
of,
dream,
not
but
really.
he forgot and starts over like the day after the adventure was supposed to start.
Oh, God.
Also, that last book had like one of my least favorite things, which I feel like this is almost a would you rather, but it was like, because it was like one of those series where like there were just tons of like questions and mysteries, and like it was always building more and more mysteries. And the last book featured like an all-knowing character sitting down with the main character and just like explaining everything. And it was awful. And that's why when people complain about like shows and books that don't answer all the questions, I'm like, I would so much rather have questions go
Yes.
unanswered than like have it be done so poorly.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
old was I when
See,
that was?
now I'm mad about that
We were
book
in high
series
school,
all
I
over
think.
again.
Yeah. I had never been disappointed by the ending of a book series up to that point. And I was like 18, barely 18 years old, been like waiting desperately for this book to come out.
Been reading them since we were like 12
Since
or
we were
something, like,
children.
yeah.
And just like sitting there like, okay, so the love interest didn't matter. Okay, so nothing that he discovered on his own mattered. Okay, so just like continuously like in denial, like maybe this didn't all happen. It was not fun. I would also rather it not end.
It was Aragon a little bit for me. I just think of like kind of the first time I had this experience. I think it might have been Aragon.
I
Which
never
for me,
finished the
that
Aragon
ending,
I
book,
didn't
so
the
either.
I'm
ending was just
happy about.
like, it was trying so hard to be epic. Like, I can handle a bittersweet ending. What I hate is like when it feels like it's forced because they're trying to make it bittersweet instead of just like doing the fans a favor and having a happy end. Like, and that's how it felt for me. It's just like, it just felt like a very forced, like, well, we can't wrap things up too nicely.
We had a few ghosts in the house for that one. Joe Catherine said, I refuse to acknowledge the last 2 seasons of Merlin. And Griswold said, I'd take a terrible ending over a cliffhanger, which is why I re-outline books in my head. Yes. So we've got another question about how the year is going for you. I'm curious, what's your favorite non-writing related thing that you've done this year? Yes.
I graduated university.
Yes!
I got my official letter last week, so it's happening. I'm so excited.
Amazing.
The highlight of my year.
I'm currently campaign managing a political campaign. I don't know how this happened. I don't know in retrospect it's going to be one of my favorite things, but it's a thing that happened.
Wow. So how do you accidentally do that?
I volunteered to like, oh, I'll just learn and help and whatever. And like our elections are a month, not 2 years. And then there just aren't a lot of other volunteers. So they were looking for a co-chair, and the other co-chair is the candidate. So it's a lot.
I played the entirety of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword in 1 month. And
Nice.
It was very fun.
I was going to say I've been getting more into video games this year, and it's been really fun. My spouse was like selling all of our stuff on the Facebook Marketplace, and we saved up and were able to get a PS5. And so I've been playing like Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's been really fun. That's been bringing me a lot of joy this year.
In the comments, Jennifer said that she made 4 baby blankets for family and coworkers who have had baby showers since January. But I read that as I made 4 babies, and I was like, you made them? All of them?
That's too many.
All at once?
Yeah, you're like, wow. I guess if you have 2 sets of twins at the same time, that sounds horrible.
Or quadruplets.
Stand by it. That's too many.
That is a lot all at once. But for baby blankets, that's very nice.
Ooh, Joe Catherine learned how to make queso dip.
Ooh, a highlight of the year for sure.
I learned how to make the best grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh yeah, you like told us about it at writing group
I was
right
so
after you
excited
did
about
it.
Drop the
it's
recipe.
It's like I mean, it's a grilled cheese sandwich, but it's got goat cheese and honey and little chili flakes in it.
Ooh.
Really nice
Damn, that sounds
combination of
good.
flavors.
We also had a suggestion for the bingo card from Ed Griswold to bring together 2 characters, plots, or settings from projects you've shelved. Maybe I'll call that shelved project mashup for now.
That's fun.
Or even just like revisit a shelved project.
Yeah.
There's 2 bingo cards.
Did we address the question from earlier? But yes, we will make this bingo card available. You don't have to make your own.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. I didn't see that question. Thank you. Yeah, we'll finish it off and then post it on like the community tab here on YouTube, as well as our Instagram. And where else are we? The Twitter. We technically have a Facebook, but you will not find us there. But we do go on Instagram and Twitter occasionally.
Also, we have enthusiasm in the comments for goat cheese. Hell yeah. Love goat cheese.
Hell yeah, goat cheese.
Hell yeah, goat cheese.
I've got another would you rather for you. So we've got, you are in high school. There is one classmate that you will be required to sit next to for the rest of the year. Would you rather it be a Cullen or a John Green protagonist?
John Green protagonist, because I feel like I would have a less chance of getting accidentally killed.
I would choose a Cullen because I feel like they wouldn't talk to me, where a John Green protagonist would just like drive me crazy. It'd just be obnoxious.
I'm an ex-theater kid, so I'm used to like quirky kind of like people being around me all the time. So it's like, yeah, it'd be fun. Plus, a Cullen would like know all the stuff anyway, so like, there's no way that
good bio partner.
Yeah.
And once again, they'd leave me alone. They wouldn't be telling me about their favorite quotes from people's deaths or whatever.
But I want to know that. That sounds interesting. Emma and I cannot be lab partners, apparently.
Not to jump back to the grilled cheese, but it's worth it. Misty Kate asked if it's just goat cheese or a mix of cheeses. I do mine with part goat cheese, part like mozzarella.
Ooh,
I have both of those. Nice.
You know, I actually do too. I think that's what I'm making after this chat. So.
the grilled cheese calls to us.
We had one vote for a Cullen classmate from Mr. Orosuri. Anyone else? Anyone have any thoughts? Would you rather sit next to a randomized Cullen? Could be any of them. Could be Emmett. Or any number of the John Green protagonists.
Does one of the Cullens involve like resume?
Could be.
Stuck next to
Do you
Carol.
think that Jacob goes to school with her?
Ugh.
Do you have to sit next to both of them if she's the Cullen you're sitting next to?
They absolutely be like that PDA couple that you just like
Oh, I hate
you have to walk
Like
by
3
every
weeks
time. You're
old.
like, yeah.
I don't feel that strongly about any of these characters. Like, it's fine. I get along with most people.
I'll ignore most people.
Yeah, see, mine is like, who's the most likely to ignore me? Missy Kate said, find the perfect grilled cheese recipe on the bingo.
Too late. I already did.
You can just mark that one off immediately.
Done.
And Griswold said a John Green protagonist. Nicole said Cullen for sure.
We can make the perfect grilled cheese on there, and then everyone has to try this recipe.
Just grilled cheese.
Oh, fun fact as well, if you are lactose intolerant like I am, goat cheese and there's another vegan cheese called Vitalife, and those are the best like melty cheeses that actually taste like cheese and don't just taste like plastic.
Oh.
It's like everyone's like the best fake cheese is Daya because it's like the only like fake cheese brand, and their cheese is gross. So Don't eat the shreds of dia. They're disgusting.
Grilla cheese on the square. Grilla cheese. I've got another how's the year going question. How have your yearly goals been going? Did you set any goals for the year? I know Kelly's got her bingo card.
I honestly don't remember if I
My
even set goals.
only goal that I can remember creating for 2022 was to make more cake. And I have. So
Way to go! You did it.
I did it. Yeah, I've been making like a monthly cake of the month.
Ooh.
So I've been trying to do some kind of fun things with them. So like in January, I did like a chocolate orange cake. And then the one I did in February wasn't very exciting, but I was practicing my piping. And then I made like a cereal cake in March. And cookie dough cupcakes in April. So
Ooh, drop that recipe and like you can slide into my DMs with that recipe. Oh my god. Please let me know. Did I make any goals? I don't know, but now I'm free of the shackles of school, so I'm gonna make goals again. Yay!
My goal was probably to draft one book, revise one book, because that's been my goal for the last however many years, too many years. I did draft one book. Only time will tell if I will revise one.
Hey, you drafted a whole book.
I did.
Impressive.
I wrote a chunk of it in November, but I did draft a whole book's worth of it this year as well. Missy Kate said we need a Word Nerds Discord to share recipes in. Yes, we do.
Maybe that could be a goal for the second half of the year.
Yes. I've been thinking about that a lot. I really like text-based chats. I've been doing better at keeping up with those lately. So I've thought about that a lot this year. Maybe a second half of the year goal.
I'd be down.
Okay, so another bookish would you rather. Would you rather have a computer that would never ever lose your work, guaranteed, or a notebook guaranteed to help you churn out one beautiful line every time you brainstorm in that notebook?
The notebook.
Say the first one
Computer.
again.
The first one is computer will never ever lose your work.
The notebook, because I save everything to the cloud anyway.
The cloud loses things too. I've lost things in the cloud.
Still choosing the notebook.
I just recently lost some revision notes. So this one's kind of fresh for me.
This one was not intended to be a personal attack. But
Oh, it's not a personal attack. I'm just thinking of, I feel like I'd normally be like, oh yeah, notebook. I'm so good at backing up my stuff. And I am good at backing up my stuff. Not good enough to save those revision notes.
so I'm going the thing that'll never lose it. I've lost a chunk of book before. It scares me.
Actually, I am going to change my answer to the notebook because I was thinking, I don't know why, but the way you phrased it, I thought that like the computer never runs out of battery, and I'm like, that's the thing. That I use. But if it doesn't lose your work, I feel like I'm okay with that because I use Google Docs. So like, for the most part,
we've had
the big
twice
G
now in our writing group. People have been like, "What happened? The work is gone from the Google Doc." I'm too
Oh my
scared.
god!
I lost like 50 words or something once in a Google Doc, but if I have the notebook, that can help me come up with beautiful lines again. I'm good.
Yeah, one beautiful line per brainstorming. So
Yeah.
that is a hell of an incentive.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so like, what are the rules? Is it like every time you open it, or is it like once a day? Is it like once every 24 hours? Like, can I
That's a
just
good
like open and
question.
close it and then it's like refreshed? Like, how does writing a novel, like opening, closing it, writing one line, opening, closing it, writing one line?
I think if you're that
Exactly right.
dedicated to doing it, it can be every time you open and close it.
Nice. I don't know. My the big G Google Doc has not failed me yet, so I have notebook.
Jennifer Daniels asked, did you go back into the documents history? I've had to do that a couple times for students. I've done that in like personal docs, but we've had twice now where it was just like docs are just gone. And it was both times in like the big shared group folder. So I don't know what happened, but it was just like, oh, look, that's all gone. Hope that was backed up somewhere else.
Yeah. It's true. I was there.
Yeah, can confirm.
The one time it happened for me in just like a personal Google Doc, it was I was on my phone on the Google Docs app, and I had written some stuff on my phone, and then I went from I was like outside a building and went into a building and like, got onto the Wi-Fi or whatever. I don't know. Reopened it, it like reverted back, and yeah, and the history wasn't there. It acted as if I hadn't written it, but luckily, like I said, it was like 50 words. It wasn't bad.
Ooh, that makes sense. I'm gonna put buy a new notebook on the bingo card.
Oh yeah.
Don't let Aaron hear you say that.
I know. I had this one would you rather that I was like, well, I know Aaron will for sure disagree with all of us, even if the rest of us go for the other one. And it was, would you rather be a famous author or be a successful one, but you are not personally famous?
Ooh.
I would not like to be famous.
I would like to be
successful.
successful but not famous.
But I knew Aaron would say famous. So it's like, yes, we won't all agree. The word nerds hive mind.
Maybe on the bingo part, put buy a new notebook and then in brackets, not Aaron.
Not you, Aaron.
Your challenge is
Look,
to not.
I think if Maisie can be enabled to buying a plant, then Aaron should get a notebook.
That's true. That's so
seems
true.
True.
Just a reminder, if you've joined us late, definitely let us know if there's anything you would like to see on the refilling your creative inkwell bingo card that we're going to be putting out, because we are going on hiatus through the month of June, the 23rd through June 26th. And then we'll be back for a live chat, probably a write-in or something. It always feels good to come back from a break and just start writing.
And
We're back on the 26th.
our inkwell.
Is that the Sunday? We're back on whatever Sunday. Yeah,
Oh,
back
just
that
says
evening.
July the camp will start the next one, so it probably won't be a write-in because we'll probably do that.
Yeah. But that keep an eye on this channel anyway. We might not be doing live chats in June, but there might be other content up in June, maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And more details might be forthcoming perhaps on Wednesday. So hypothetically speaking. We only have June for this bingo card, so the goal is not necessarily to get a blackout on it, just a one bingo.
The goal is to refill your inkwell.
Yeah.
Everything else is about.
Like Kelly's yearly bingo card, which the center is don't do all of these things.
If you do them all, you tried too hard and you failed.
Yes. And Griswold suggested, what about setting an intention for this new bingo notebook, like tracking word count, Daisy Wright? Okay. Got another would you rather. You ready? You've got a book deal and it's going to be a raging success. Would you rather that success be for a standalone book or for a series?
Do I get to choose which of my projects it's for?
Sure.
Wait, what were the two
Series.
options?
So you have a book. It's going to be a raging success. It's got a book deal. It's all but guaranteed to do well because they've decided that it's going to do well. Would you rather it be a standalone or a series?
Standalone.
I say standalone, but like unless you make it, but this will be the only success. This is your only success. So then it gets trickier. Like just standalone.
Not necessarily your only success, but this one is the only one that's guaranteed. If it's a personal project for me, then I would want it to be a standalone. Too much pressure with series if I'm going it on my own. And Griswold said 100% a series. Misty Kate said a series. Joe Catherine said standalone.
I just feel like I've been burned so many times by a series that I'm like, I don't know if I could write a full series and have like, even if it was really famous, I feel like people would be disappointed in me. So I'm like, it's just easier to put it all in a standalone.
I think that I'm less likely to have virtual eyes on me if it's just a standalone that gets really big. If it's like a big series, then people start to associate like, well, that's the author of this big series.
I think I want it to be a series, but I'd just be happy to have something successful.
Truly.
In this economy. A book deal in this economy.
Oh, yeah.
Because like if it's a series, even if everyone hates the sequel, like they're still if the first one is that successful, then people are going to buy the second one. So I'm still going to make money off.
Yeah.
Even if people
if it were a solo project, so a series that's like not necessarily romance, but in the romance vein of like kind of follows a different set of characters in the second book, like I think that's where it's at. I don't know. To me, that feels kind of like if it's a series, but like not so closely tied together that you can't read the books in isolation.
So we're coming pretty close to the hour. I've got like one more discussion question for the evening, and we've still got 3 open spots on the bingo card.
What reading related ones do we have so far?
We have read a book and do a craft. No, we have a do a craft and a craft challenge. So we have a read a book and then like do a writing craft. Could be a book, could be something else.
It's also, since this is mostly going to be in June, maybe something Pride related.
Yes. Good point.
The bingo card is rainbow.
perfect.
Read a queer book. Or maybe like read a book from a queer author.
I'm just thinking like maybe just like read an old favorite book and then read a new book to split. Doesn't help with the queer part, but just kind of more reading related things in general.
Misty Kate also asked if we had a fanfic one. And then we've got a really good question from Anne Griswold.
Yes, we do have a fanfic one. I put read or write a fanfic.
What about like watching a TV or movie adaptation of a book?
Ooh, yeah.
So Anne Griswold asked, what genre would you choose for your guaranteed success?
Horror.
Fantasy.
It's a
Why
solo
fantasy
book.
for me?
Yeah. Continuing with the series thing, I would want it to be a fantasy series.
Yeah, sci-fi or fantasy, anything that's gonna like get me to the Hugo's, Nebulas, that crowd.
Ooh, I would want it to be a horror, and then like Mike Flanagan makes it into a limited series.
Well, it's going to be successful, so obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll just slide into his DMs and be like, hey, I know that you tweeted about how much you admired my work. Do you want to adapt it?
Joe Catherine says watching an adaptation and yelling at it.
Oh, yeah. Reading novel and watching adaptation. We've got read a book. Looks like we've got one more square.
We did
So
video game.
Sarah
we did-
has a find someone to beta your book, or maybe just like share something with a beta or critique partner.
We have that on the year-long ones. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
really a like finishing or
Wait, was I not here when we made the year-long one? I keep hearing references to it in my brain. I also like this one from Joe Catherine, making a book-themed snack.
Ooh, tasty.
Are we all hungry tonight?
I think so.
I think so.
I brought some Takis, and then I was like, that's a really crunchy snack for a live chat. So that'll be my post-chat snack.
These chats always kind of land like right where it'd be eating beforehand would be too early for dinner, but eating afterwards is kind of late.
Yep, same.
And Griswold said a heist/romance sounds good, and I really
Yes.
thought you were talking about for the bingo square.
Pull off a
Commit
heist.
Or a
have a romance.
I mean, hey, it's Pride Month. Be gay, do crime.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got one last question for the evening before I think we'll wrap it up.
I do want a heist / romance, though. It just sounds very like.
Yes.
Mhm.
What is one book that you're excited to read in the second half of the year? Doesn't have to be a new book, just any book that you're excited to read in the next 6 months ish.
I'm just waiting for my hold of the Obsidian Gate by N.K. Jemisin to come in so that I can finally read the second book. So like my hold came in while I was like reading something else and I didn't get to it, and so then I had to get back on the hold list.
I'm really, really excited for my hold to come in on the Hacienda. So excited. I've been on that list since the day the book came out. But it hasn't come to me yet. But I just know it's almost my turn.
On June 7th, I'm literally counting down the days until this book comes out. On June 7th, a book is released called Wrath Goddess Sing by Maya Dean, and it is a Achilles retelling with Achilles being a trans woman and having a like obsessive enemies to lovers with Helen of Troy. I am so freaking excited for it. So yeah, June 7th, Wrath Goddess Sing.
September 6th, Ace is Wild by Amanda Dewitt comes out, and it's a heist / romance. So this book has been pitched as like asexual Kaz Brecker pulling a heist at a Vegas casino with a whole crew of like other Ace kids that he's met on the internet. And I have been waiting for this book literally since it was announced.
I think I remember seeing that get announced on Twitter.
Yeah,
but
I remember it too.
Yeah.
You probably remember it because I like screamed about it in our Slack channel. I was like, guys, this book was written for me.
That sounds very exciting.
And it's a heist / romance, so
It is.
Later in the year, November 22nd, Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, which is the
Yes.
sequel to Delilah Green, the second Bright Balls book.
Joe Catherine said everyone has recommended The House in the Cerulean Sea. Might try that. It's very cute.
His book cover for his next year book was released a couple days ago, like in the Lives of
Is it?
Puppets or something.
It's so cool. I didn't realize that Under the Whispering Door and now this next one, Lives of Puppets.
Yeah,
maybe?
something like that.
Something of puppets. It looks like it's a photoshopped kind of like blocky graphic, but it was actually created out of paper. So it's actually like a full paper set that they photographed. It is so cool. If you go to TJ Klune's Instagram, they have like a little video showing how they made it. It's rad as hell.
Mr. Rosuri said A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexandra Rowland, a Prince Bodyguard fantasy romance.
I'm excited for that one too.
And Misty K asked, what is it called? I must look it up now. Kyra said Ace is Wild is
Ace
the
is
heist
Wild.
romance.
We're on like just a little bit of a lag. So Misty Kate, if it's not the one I was talking about, tell us.
Yeah,
the one
let
I
us
was
know.
talking about is called Ace is Wild. The author is Amanda Dewitt.
And I will collect all these and put them in the description box after this as well. Because I know sometimes we're just spitting out book recs and it goes pretty fast.
I don't know if anyone mentioned this while I was gone, but I'm really excited for Rebecca Mix's book, The Ones We Burn. It comes out in like November,
yes.
I think.
love the cover of that one.
I know, it's beautiful.
And the premise sounds great.
Oh my gosh, Ed Griswold signed up for Dracula Daily.
Yes. Me too.
Oh, you did too? Nice.
So yeah, you receive an email every day that covers the date that is occurring in the novel because it's epistolary. So fun.
I hear there's one that's like another parody that's called Whale Weekly, and I might sign up for it. I'm like, it sounds really ridiculous.
All right. Thank you so much for being here today, everyone. We had a really great time. We will drop the photo for this bingo card in the next 24 hours. We won't be doing live chats for the next month, but we will be back in time for Camp Nano. That doesn't mean we won't have content on this channel, though. So like and subscribe if somehow one of you has not already done that. And am I missing anything else? Any other stuff?
I don't think so.
All right.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. I hope that this chat has brought you all to 2 thumbs up or at least 1.5 thumbs up. We will see you all in a bit. Thank you so much for being here and have a good hiatus.
Bye.